I want to have a quick conversation with you about Citibank personal loans and lines of credit, and I want to share with you the top 5 hacks for successful application and super fast approval. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation, I guarantee, especially if you are a Citibank customer at the moment or you are planning on becoming one. I want you to really follow this video thoroughly. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Citi Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you, boss, about Citibank personal loans and lines of credit. And I want to share with you our top 5 hacks for successful application and super fast approval. Before I get into the hacks, I really want to give you an overview here. What are we talking about? What is the gist of this conversation? Well, you first need to understand Citibank's personal loans and lines of credit. So you can use a Citibank personal loan to make a large purchase. You can consolidate debt. You can receive funds all at once. It's really up to you. So loan amounts here go from $2,000 to 30 grand. Okay, you have fixed rates. They oscillate between 6%, 6.99%, and 23.99%. Okay, the cool thing is you can submit your application online and you can get a response in less than 60 seconds. But we strongly actually recommend that you not do that. You want to apply at a branch, your chances of approval are much higher unless you have perfect credit. Okay, and you can repay your loan over 12, 24, 36, 48, or 60 months. Citi is very flexible. So the benefits here, you have a simple application process. Okay, you have quick access to your cash, predictable monthly payments, and you can set up monthly payments with auto deduct. Okay, once you originate the loan. This is kind of cool. Now the requirements are very generous in our view, because Citi only wants you to have an annual income of at least $10,500. This is really good. Okay, and so you got to have an eligible Citi deposit account open for at least 12 months. So they want you to have a relationship with them for at least 1 year, and you may have other Citibank personal loan open at the same time of you're applying, but as long as it has been open for at least 6 months. Okay, and the thing here is that you can actually, if you have already applied, you can always look into your account to check the status of your loan application. This is really good. So when you think about that, this is really good. Now, so besides the Citi personal loan, you also have the Checking Plus line of credit, and this is how they call their line of credit. And the cool thing is that you can actually get a decent line amount. So you are looking at 100 to 5,000. In some cases, it can be 10,000, depending on the strength and the volume of your transaction with Citibank. Okay, and the cool thing here is that overall, when you apply at a branch or over the phone, your chances, as I said before, of actually qualifying are higher. Okay, and so this is what it is. So you got to have a Citi deposit account that actually at least 1 year. Now I want to talk to you about the 5 hacks that you need to have to make sure that you are approved for a Citi personal loan and or line of credit, no matter what. The first thing is the Citi multi-product relationship. I'm telling you, boss, if you want to improve your chances of approval, you gotta build a strong relationship with Citi. The thing is, Citi has received a lot of bad rap in the past for no reason, really. I mean, this is a strong institution. They're solid. So make sure that you build a relationship with them. And we are talking about relationship banking. Okay, you want to go to the nearest branch. The cool thing is Citi is a national bank. Okay, so they have branches all over the country. And try to go to a branch and you want to schedule an appointment and talk to someone. Okay, I don't want you to say, I don't have time, whatever. I'm gonna do things online, because no. Don't do that. You want to go to a branch and you want to meet with someone. You want to ask the person about, you want to talk about your financial situation. You want to ask them what kind of advice they have for you, what kind of accounts they can help you with, because they can give you strategic advice. You need to consider Citibank reps as your partners. Okay, they can help you with goal setting and investments, because Citi has a brokerage area where they can actually they can actually open a brokerage account for you, an investment account. They can help you also with the wealth management. Okay, if you have a business you're looking to transition, they can help you with transition planning. Okay, so the benefits are galore, basically. But that's the first thing. If you want super fast approval, you want Citibank to look at your loan application or your line of credit application favorably, you got to build that relationship. I spoke to you earlier about the fact that you need to have open a deposit accounts for at least 1 year. 1 year. And one thing we have seen in our practice is that if you have direct deposit into a Citibank account, it works like magic. Your chances of approval will go from 50% all the way to 100%. Citi loves it when customers are having their cash, their pay directly deposited into a Citibank account. They love that. So they'll give you a lot of loan products. They'll actually approve you for lines of credit. They'll approve you for loans. So that's one thing I want you to consider. Okay, if you are currently a Citibank customer and you are thinking about getting their loans or line of credit, please make sure that you set up direct deposit. And the cool thing is direct deposit you can set it up partially or fully. In other words, if you're saying, hey, listen, I don't want all my cash to go to Citibank, that's fine. Just direct 25%, 50%, or 40% of your cash to Citi. Okay, so every 2 weeks or every month or every week, you have a little bit of cash that goes into your Citibank account. That will help you actually beef up your relationship with Citibank. The second hack I want to talk to you about, that's basically your income. You got to be ready to prove your income. I said earlier, son, I don't know if you were listening to me when I said earlier that you remember the requirements. No, you don't. The requirements is $10,500. Citibank wants you to make at least $10,500 a year. That's gross income. Okay, and you gotta have a constellation of documents you can use to actually prove to Citi that you meet their requirements. It's important because don't you just go to a branch and say, listen, I actually have no doc, but I want to have an income. Citibank is risk averse. Citibank is a financial institution. They will ask you for paperwork. They will ask you for documentation. Okay, niece, you listen to me? So one thing I want you to do is I want you to gather right now, as I'm speaking to you, I want you to gather right now your pay stubs. Okay. It doesn't matter if you have a full-time job, part-time job, you work in a seasonal industry, it doesn't really matter. You have a paid internship, it doesn't matter. As long as you meet the $10,500 requirements every year, you're good to go. Okay, you can get approved for a loan. So think about, you can prove income through pay stubs. You can prove income through tax returns. Yeah, okay. So when you go to the branch, as I was talking to you earlier, when you go to the branch, you don't go, you don't actually just talk to them with no documentation. You got to go with documents in hand. Okay, very important. So tax returns are also cool. You want to think about your W-2s and 1099s. That's important also. Okay, those are quintessentials, because those are quintessential in terms of proving your income and employment. This is important. If you have a bank account with other institutions, you might want to print bank statements also. Bank statements that show your direct deposit. Okay, and if you can also provide your employer contact information. So the bottom line here is what? If you want to be approved for a Citibank personal loan or a line of credit, you want to make sure that you are in a position where you can prove unequivocally. You want to prove confidently that you meet the requirements for income. You want to prove your income, and the requirements, the floor here is $10,500. Okay, and the one thing I also want to say here is that it's always better to ask the loan rep what kind of documents they're looking for. You can tell them about your situation and say, hey, listen, how can I qualify for the requirements? How can I qualify for the income requirements? The third hack I want to talk to you about when it comes to a Citibank personal loans and lines of credit is your FICO score. So you need to be in a position where, obviously Citibank does not have a official, FICO score requirements, but based on our research and based on the fact that we ourselves are Citibank customers, the minimum we have seen is 600. If you have 600, that's kind of cool, but 680 is kind of the sweet spot. 680 to 750, that's the sweet spot. The cool thing is that if you have a low FICO score and you're making more money anyway, this things sort of balance themselves out, right? And the thing here is you got to be in a situation. I don't care if your FICO score is currently at 700 or 750 or whatnot. You want to be in a situation where you are constantly improving your FICO score. Boss, that's important, okay? I'm talking about first checking your credit reports for accuracy, right? Because if you cannot improve something you have no idea about. So you want to make sure that you always pay your credit accounts on time. I'm talking about credit cards, not just credit cards, especially credit cards from Citi and other loans from Citi. Remember, I was just telling you earlier that Citi will accept you if you already have another loan open, as long as that loan has been open for at least 6 months, okay? And you want to make sure that you always pay your credit accounts on time. You want to lower your credit utilization. We have spoken time and again about the importance of CUR, the importance of your credit utilization, the importance of living within your means. So the third hack I want to talk to you about is your FICO score. FICO score is really important when we are trying to establish a relationship with Citibank, and we want to parlay that relationship into something that can help us qualify for personal loans and lines of credit. So when I talk about your FICO score, usually Citi will accept you if you have 600 minimum. Okay, 600. And it's important to understand that no matter what your current FICO score is, you have to be in a situation where you are constantly trying to improve your FICO score. Very important, right? So check your credit reports for accuracy. Very important. You want to start with annualcreditreport.com. You can actually go to Credit Karma also if you're trying to have you want to monitor your credit score for free. Okay, you have Wallet Hub, you have Nerd Wallet. There are a lot of players out there. Even your own credit card issuer right now can actually allow you to see your credit score for free. Okay, and I'm talking about making sure that you actually check your credit score at all 3 credit bureaus. Very important. And make sure that if you want to be in a situation where you're constantly increasing your FICO score, boss, I want you to make sure that you always pay your credit accounts on time. Very important. You want to think about lowering your credit utilization ratio. Your credit utilization ratio is important because it actually accounts for 30% of your FICO score. So if you can work on your credit utilization ratio, your CUR, this is a great step forward when it comes to improving your overall FICO score. Okay, and I want you to think also about those accounts, if you have any, that were sent to collections, because you can't just forget about those accounts. They are really important. You might want to try to negotiate an agreement with a collections agency, or the whole thing I'm trying to tell you here is that you cannot ignore those collections accounts, because they are really actually dragging your FICO score down. And we got to be in a situation, and again, this is me trying to tell you that you need to be proactive. Okay, be proactive. Optimize your account age. You can optimize your credit mix. You can try to limit credit inquiries, because those things are systematically and reflexively reducing your credit score. You got to really stay away from them. Stay away from those actions, okay? Very important. So overall, the third hack that I want you to have, you got to have it in your strategy, is to continually monitor your credit score and try to do everything and anything you can to reduce it. Hack number 4, we have to talk about eligibility. You want to familiarize yourself with eligibility requirements. Boss, uncle, are you there? Grandpa, I'm talking to you. So you're probably sitting there and you're just mulling over the opportunity to get a loan from Citibank, okay? Have you familiarized yourself with the eligibility requirements? You probably not. If you know, you have to take the first step right now. That's why I spoke to you earlier about contacting somebody at the branch. Don't you try to go online and trying to look for criteria for approval. No, go to the branch. Okay, I want you to bring your ass to the nearest branch and really have a conversation with someone and ask all questions that you have. You want to ask all questions. Okay, trying to be you want them to be as transparent as possible. You want them to answer any questions you may have about credit score requirements, payment history, your income, and your debt to income ratio. Very important. You want to know what kind of income Citibank will actually accept, because they've put on their website $10,500, but you never know. You could, I mean, depending on where you live in the country, you can go to a branch and they'll tell you, hey, listen, our requirements is $12,000 or our requirements is $20,000. What are you going to say? Well, I didn't know you guys have this on the website. And they could tell you, listen, this is what the national policy is, but based on our branch, this is how we roll. This is why you want to go to a branch and ask questions, okay? So you want to ask them questions about their income requirements, their credit score requirements, their payment history requirements, and the DTI. Generally, if you have a DTI of 30% or less, you are good to go. 30 to 35%, that's what the sweet spot is. I mean, the lower the better, right? When we talk about credit, when we talk about debt to income ratio, we want to be as low as possible. Single digit, that's nirvana. Okay, if you can do it, do it. But you got to ask yourself, ask the lender also when you go to a branch. First of all, ask yourself, do you actually need a personal loan? Okay, because maybe you have a credit card right now that can actually help you take care of your financial difficulties for now. And the second question is, can you afford a Citi personal loan or a Citi personal line of credit? And this is a question where you don't have to answer by yourself. You can also talk to the loan rep at Citi and ask them if they believe you could qualify based on your financials, if you will be in a situation where you can actually repay the loan. Okay, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome 30K Show. I'm still sharing with you today Citibank personal loans and lines of credit. And I'm sharing with you 5 hacks that you need to implement today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today, to actually qualify quickly for approval. And the 5th hack is the application itself. Okay, so you need to actually apply for the Citi loan or line of credit that you have identified that you think you could qualify for. Okay, and before you do this, I want you to make sure that you think about your budget. I want you to make sure that you talk to your husband or wife if you are in a relationship, so that you can actually cross-check your household expenses. You know why? Because a loan from Citi or any other financial institution, this is an additional source of cash outflows, right? It's an additional cash outflows. So you got to make sure that you have the wherewithal, you have the resources to cover that, both of y'all or just by yourself, whatever. Okay. So you want to think about, you want to review one last time your credit score and report. Okay. You want to make sure that you can pre-qualify. If you can pre-qualify for the Citi loan, that's even better. Okay, if you can pre-qualify for a Citi line of credit, that's even better. Why? Because you are preserving your FICO score, right? You're not really hurting your FICO score, because the last thing you want is to apply here and there and just decimate your FICO score. Nobody wants that, okay? And the thing here is that you want to ask all questions. You want to ask all the questions that you may think about. What I'm trying to say here is that if you get a loan from Citi, that's a commitment for 5 years maximum. It could be 3 years, it can be 2 years, it could be 4 years. That's a lot of years. Okay, so I want to make sure that you clearly understand the particulars, the granular details of the loan agreement. I'm not asking you to have a PhD, a JD or a degree in regulations or law, but you want to ask the rep to actually summarize for you the requirements under the loan. Okay. And one thing I want you to do also is that when we talk about the application, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Do not apply online. Citi will tell you, hey, listen, you can apply online if you're a member. If you're a customer, that's fine. And you know what? The funny thing is, applying online, it sounds so easy. It is so convenient, right? Very convenient. You're just chilling on your couch or in your bed, and just it's so easy. You just have your computer, your laptop, and whatnot, and you apply, and boom, you get rejected. Okay, and that's what I don't want you to have. I don't want you to have rejection. I want you to have approval. That's why I'm telling you to take all your chances and go to a branch to apply there. But before I close today's conversation, I want to talk to you about a few success tips. Okay, I have a few pro tips I want to share with you if you want to be approved for a Citibank personal loan or a line of credit Okay, first thing is you need to understand that Citi looks at you as a risk element. In other words, you're probably thinking, because they're thinking about you as a source of additional exposure. So if you are asking for 10 grand or 20 grand, they're thinking this is a debt for you. This is an asset for them, but there is a risk that you don't pay them back. Okay, that's why they just want to make sure that they take all of their whatever precautions to make sure that you pay them back. So what you have to do, you as a prospective applicant, you as a prospective borrower, I want you to think right now. You can download and print the loan application online, but do not submit the application online. You download it, you actually go over it, you take your time, you sleep over it, you can spend 3 days, 4 days, take your time, okay? And make sure that you are able to put your address, the right income, because they will verify your pay anyway. So it doesn't matter what you put, just make sure you put the right amount, okay? And they'll ask you for your social. I mean, those are regular stuff. And then one thing you need to understand, if you are ever denied for an application, if you are ever denied for a personal loan for that matter, if you applied and you were denied, make sure that you ask the reasons why. Normally, Citibank will let you know why they actually denied you. So you have a rejection letter that explains everything, and you take that letter, you read it through, and you see the reasons. Now, if you want a Citi personal loan that bad, just wait for 3 months or 6 months and mitigate. You want to fix those mistakes, okay, and then come back. Because the rejection letter can say, oh, your credit history is not long enough, or your DTI ratio is too high, or your credit score is too low, or your credit history is not varied enough, or your income is not large enough. I mean, Citibank or any other lender has a constellation of reasons they can actually talk about to be able to be in a position where they don't approve your application, okay? And what you want to do is you want to carefully review your credit report. You want to improve your DTI ratio by paying off all debts. You want to make sure that you are current on all your bills, okay? You can apply with a co-signer or a co-borrower. Yeah, I didn't mention this before, but if you really want a loan that bad, you can actually apply for this loan with a co-borrower, okay? You can seek a smaller loan amount. With Citibank loans, you can actually be approved for 30 grand, but what if you just apply for 5 grand or 10 grand for that matter? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was sharing with you Citibank personal loans and lines of credit, the top 5 hacks for successful application and super fast approval. So I gave you an overview, okay? And the 5 hacks we are talking about: Citibank multi-product relationship, your income, your FICO score, your eligibility, and last but not the least, your application, the way you applied. And then I just closed today's conversation with a few pro tips. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.